Ohio Sports Recap. I'm Justin Thomas. 4 teams in the big dance from Ohio. We'll take a look at the bracket right now. The top-seeded team from Ohio is Cincinnati. The Bearcats, a 5 seed. They're going to be taking on a tough Harvard team that's a 12 seed. That game is set up for 2:10 on Thursday. That's out in Spokane, Washington. The Bearcats get a win there. They'll have a likely date with 4-seeded Michigan State. And then if they get out, they'll be in the New York Regional, as they are in the East Regional, and Virginia is the number 1 seed in that bracket. Shifting gears to the South now, Ohio State in as a 6th seed. They're going to be in Buffalo taking on another Ohio school, the 11th seeded Dayton Flyers. So the Buckeyes will take on the Flyers. That's a 12:15 tip-off. Also on Thursday, the winner of that will get the winner of Syracuse and Western Michigan. That's in the South Regional, so the Buckeyes or the Flyers could get out of those 2 matchups. They will then head to Memphis. The number 1 seed in that regional is Florida. And then the other school that's in is Xavier, the Musketeers. They're going to be traveling up to UD Arena first on Tuesday to play in the play-in game. They have a tough NC State squad. That's set up for a 9:10 p.m. tip-off, as that's the nightcap there. So the Musketeers taking on a surprise team they got in a large bid in. If the Musketeers win that, they will have a date with St. Louis and Orlando. A win there, that'll be on Thursday, a win there could get them to see the Louisville Cardinals. If they get out of that, it's the Midwest Regional. They'll be in Indianapolis, so a little bit closer to home. Wichita State is the number 1 seed in that bracket. A couple other schools that are in action. Toledo, they have a bid for the NIT. They got a tough matchup in the first round against Southern Miss. They're the 6th seed. And then here's your other schools in the CIT. Wright State, they're at East Carolina. And then Akron will take on IPFW. And then a battle of 2 Ohio schools, as Cleveland State will be at Ohio. So that's your postseason action for boys basketball. As we now will take a look at the women's side. Here's a couple schools that got in from the women's side. Akron, they're 79-68 winners of the Mid-American Conference over Ball State. The Zips played top-seeded Bowling Green very tough both times this season, and the Zips get their first tournament bid by winning the conference. On the other side, Wright State, they headed up to take on powerhouse Green Bay and beat them on their home floor. The Raiders win 88-69, a real thumping of the Phoenix. Taylor Mingo had 31 points. Kim Demings added another 26 as Wright State gets their first ever NCAA bid as well. So Wright State and Akron both in. Dayton more than likely will be an at-large bid, as they did win the Atlantic 10 regular season. Another team to watch would be Bowling Green. They were ranked 25th in the country, but lost in the Mid-American Conference semifinals. Pro Sports, Cleveland, 102-80 losers on the road to take on the Los Angeles Clippers. The Cavaliers were led by Luol Deng, who scored 23 points. Now let's shift gears into Ohio High School Athletic Association boys basketball tournament. Here are your final 4 for all 4 divisions. Lakewood St. Edward versus Cleveland East Technical. Upper Arlington versus Trotwood Madison. On to Division 2, Norwalk taking on Dayton Thurgood Marshall. Columbus Bishop Watterson versus Akron St. Vincent St. Mary's. Division 3, Cleveland Villa Angela St. Joseph will take on Columbus Bishop Reedy. And St. Bernard Roger Bacon will take on Lima Central Catholic. And in Division 4, you have Louisville St. Thomas Aquinas versus Canal Winchester Harvest Prep. And New Madison Tri-Village will take on Convoy Crestview. There's the whole slate of action that's going to be going on this week. That's a recap of what happened over the weekend. For Ohio Sports Recap, I'm Justin Thomas.